We're here at the St. George Cemetery in St. George, Georgia. Now, we're just across the state line from Florida. St. Mary's Rivers ain't very far over here. And I was talking about this cemetery when I was over at Green Cemetery. And me and my brother and my nephew come over here, Lord, many, many years ago. And I thought that maybe it was the Massachusetts Colored Unit that was buried over here, but it's not. I walked over there a minute ago to verify, and it's only fitting that with Veterans Day today, forgot to mention that in the Connor Green Cemetery, but used to be called Armistice Day. Armistice Day was when World War I ended, and they signed the armistice at 1918. The 11th minute of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. There's some interesting markers down here. Some of them you can read, some of them you can't. I thought this one was rather interesting. I've never seen one made exactly like this one is. Now, for those of you that don't know, we've got a turtle here in Florida and Georgia called a gopher turtle, Gopher. They are endangered. You're not supposed to impede them going across the road. You're not supposed to touch them. You're not supposed to do anything. And it seems like every cemetery that you go to, you find one or two resident gophers. Now they dig them a hole, and they live under the ground for the most part. But pretty much any cemetery that you go to here in the South, you're going to find a gopher somewhere. I'm going to walk around a little bit in here today. I don't have any relatives buried up here to the best of my knowledge. There may be, but it's definitely nonetheless an interesting place, and I'm sure there are some pioneers here. Now, this section's been here a while. I can tell just by this barrier that's around this place. And there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 11, 12. Looks like there's 13 graves in this area. They're all Union soldiers. Now, being Union soldiers, the only reason for them to be here would be the Battle of Olustee was fought west of here, but the skirmishes took place all the way up and down. The railroad used to run up and down through here, and the only thing I can figure is that these were part of maybe some of the Olustee combatants that were buried here. There's no information on these stones except for the names and the outfits that they were associated with. So I don't know, I can't tell you whether these were associated with Olustee or not. I'll have to do some research maybe and try and find out. There was actually nothing I could find on Find a Grave about it. So I don't know. But this one here is Thomas H. Posey, Company G, 9th Indiana Infantry. Now, all these stones out here are put out here by the government. And the quickest way to tell, of course, without a flag or a marker on there, this says Indiana, whether someone was Union or Confederate, is by looking at the top of the stone. If the top of the stone is rounded, it would be a Union soldier. And if it comes to a point at the top, they would be Confederate. Now, in the early 1900s, Congress passed a law to include Confederate veterans as U.S. soldiers. And they actually give them pensions and considered them in the United States Army, so to speak. They get the same benefits. Now, this is William A. Paisley, Company C, 15th Iowa Infantry. This would be Captain Benjamin Warren, Company D, 26th Massachusetts Infantry. Now, maybe this one was one that I remembered the Massachusetts thing on and was thinking maybe this was the Massachusetts colored outfit. I know once they were defeated up in South Carolina, they put them all, what was left of them, on a ship and they sent them up here to Jacksonville to be stationed in Jacksonville for pretty much the duration of the war. Well, when the Confederates were over here, the U.S. sent troops over this way to meet them. And part of them was the Massachusetts colored outfit. And a lot of them died up and along the railroad. And this is on the Georgia side. It's a little bit north, actually, of where that would have went, which is kind of why I'm scratching my head over these internments here. I don't understand why they would be quite this far north. But I have no idea. Something I'll have to definitely research. This is Augustine Hickey, U.S. Navy. That's all it's got. Here again, this is U.S. Navy. So why there would be someone from the U.S. Navy buried out here just kind of adds to the mystery of this little plot in the St. George Cemetery. This one is A.H. McConaughey, Company K, 5th Illinois Cavalry. This is John M. Barnes. Now, he was in the band, 3rd Brigade, 3rd Division, 4th AC. Here we've got Ed DeGleish, Company L, 2nd New York. And here we've got Captain James M. Parker, Company D, 22nd Indiana Infantry. Now I'm going to go back and check the units that were at Olustee and see if these units were included. Now the little stars below the flags there have a GAR 1861-1865. That stood for the Grand Army of the Republic. Now there's 6 other graves here that are unmarked, so I can't give you any information on these. This is a big cemetery, but there's not a whole lot of people buried in it. There are a few old graves and old plots in it. You would think that these would have been from, well, if they fought at Olustee and died during that conflict, it would have been 1864, February. Here's another, what I'll call plot. It's marked out anyway. And it definitely was quite elaborate at one time, but time has taken a toll on it. There's no visible graves. This one over here took a lot of time and effort. This is the Pickett plot. So once again, those are quarried stone. This over here is more of a concrete base. And this over here is actually quarried stone. There's quite a few newer burials out here. Not going to take a long time up here, but there was some interesting looking stuff over here, and I just wanted to come over and take a look and share it with you. This is a family plot done very nicely. Definitely got marble around it. And apparently this is the Granger family and the Durden family. There's actually Oliver Snow Peterson. Now, that might be a distant relative of mine. My father's grandparents were Petersons, and they lived in Georgia and Alabama, actually. So it wouldn't be a long stretch for some of them to have come down here at some point in time. Now, this is Smith family. There's a James Millard, son of James and Dorothy. I'll have to excuse me, I'm using my cell phone on this, and somebody was trying to give me a call. This is James Clayton. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, died in Pearland, Texas, January of '95. And a picture of him playing his guitar and his Kiss shirt on. This is Dorothy Smith, who died in 1993, born in 1916. This is James Millard Smith, who was born in '16. And I don't see a, 1994 is when he passed away. Now, here again, my last name is Davis, and I got to walk over here because I see a Davis headstone. I don't have many Davis relatives down in this part of the country. Most all of them are farther up in Georgia. Apparently, he was a Georgia Bulldog fan. Now, he died in 2020 in August. It's a shame that he didn't live to see his dogs win a national championship last year and be playing some excellent football this year. So that's it. Like I say, the main reason that I come over here was to look at the Union graves that I had remembered from years ago over here. And it wasn't what I was remembering, but I'm glad I come over here anyway. It's very peaceful down here. Got some oak trees down here that I'm going to say are 200 years old. They're definitely pioneers. Some of them could be a little bit older than that. This cemetery is maintained by the county. So this is not a family cemetery. So once again, I'll wind this up. Appreciate y'all joining me again. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. Make a comment if you'd like to. God bless you. Y'all have a good one now.